I need just to pass also just a gentle comment. What precipitates and what causes such amount of intolerance is the absence of presence. You are in a certain place where people are living, and their culture and life is totally detached from the business environment. It would be easier to get a fundamental statue here and well-sponsored. It would be difficult to put a Ndebele statue here to show presence. It includes even the quality of shops that we allow into our malls. Is it easier for an Ndebele cultural shops within your malls where you're working, that you also give a quota of your space to ethnic cultural tolerance, because that gives the presence that you need within an environment. Sorry about that. And lastly, when it comes to indigenous foods and other things, I'm only saying sometimes in the midst of us doing business, we tend to forget and we become insensitive to the community which we are servicing. And then before you notice it, the dominant culture starts encroaching its ugly head, as it were, and starts again to abuse. And we don't want to feel in 25, 30 years later of independence that we're still struggling with apartheid in its rawness, but this time around from a coconut, who is one of us, black on the outside, but white on the inside. To an extent that he could be arrogant in telling us he owns the mall and etc. And this is his mall, and he must just F off with the same patronizing language of a proper funny kind of thing. And I think for me, what will cut it for me, I would want to see a presence of the cultures that are represented here, boldly demonstrated either in the branding of the shops itself. Put these colors. Let people know that they can identify, they can relate to this mall. The Shanganis that are around, let's feel at home. Let's feel at home. I lived in Europe. I lived in America. I lived in Australia. And I cannot come to Africa and still feel timid when I walk into a mall that I need to succumb to some colonial, hype to be acceptable. So in my own way, I want to talk to your branding as a shop. I will need to see a presence of the cultural people that are within your space, and open up more gates to the shops, foods, clothing, not only a weekend spaza shop, cut a piece of the mall here, make the local people also feel part. That's your empowerment. That's your direct empowerment. They don't have to pay the premium which other shops are paying. But please keep that in mind, that we can also begin to include the local community to participate in the business of the mall itself. I thank you.
Okay, Mr. Mabena.